replies are the cornerstone of everything we're going to do on Twitter. It's how we build relationships, but it's also how we draft our own tweets. So it's probably the most important thing that you're going to do on Twitter is reply. Now, how do we actually write a great reply? And to get started, let's look into what makes a bad reply. And for that, here's an example of someone I gave tips to a couple months back and who did it completely wrong. So 6 months ago, I was already giving tips to people on Twitter, over DMs, and I was telling people, you need to engage with others. So I told this guy, number one thing you need to do is start replying to people every day. Try to reply to 20 people every day, and you will see your growth go crazy. The next day, I opened Twitter and I see he did reply to 20 people. And what he did is he replied the exact same thing to everyone. He just replied exactly to 20 people. So, needless to say, it didn't work. It didn't give him any visibility because nobody gave a shit about these low quality answers. He didn't build a relationship with the people who, he was replying to. He might even have hurt this relationship because he seemed fake once people realized he was doing that with everyone. And he didn't make any progress towards writing his own tweets because, it's not like he's going to repurpose that as content because it's not content. That's exactly what you shouldn't do, is not put any effort into it. If you want to make a good quality reply, you need to put some effort. So instead of saying exactly, it would be way better to say why you think that. At least exactly is positive. The negative version of exactly, which I hate, which is tempting to do, from time to time, is to reply, it depends. Okay, guys, everything fucking depends. Everything on Twitter depends because Twitter is so limited in the number of characters you have. You cannot explain everything with nuance. You have to take a side. You have to take a shortcut when you write a tweet. It's very hard to be precise and clear with every tweet. So yeah, most tweets, there's always something more to add. It would be better if you said why it depends. Because if you just say it depends, nobody's going to check your profile, you're not getting visibility, and it's not helping you write tweets. Then you add value because then people can look into it, they can be inspired by it, you can get into a conversation with the author of a tweet, and everybody wins. That's how you gain visibility. That's how you share your thoughts. Nobody's going to be inspired by you if what you say is it depends. But if you share what you think about a topic, people might think, oh, this guy knows his shit. I'm interested by that. I'm going to check his profile and follow him. Now let's look into 3 ways that you can write good replies very efficiently. So the first one, and my favorite, is rephrasing. If somebody tweets something, you can just rephrase what they said, making it a bit shorter or a bit longer and using different words. And this alone does 3 things at once. First, the person who tweeted will appreciate it because they will feel like you understand what they said. So you might think it's not bringing a lot of value, but at least to them, they will care about it. They will feel like you read their tweet and care about it. So you win for the relationship side. Second is, it's more valuable than we think. Because, by using different words, we're actually, and maybe making it shorter or longer, we're actually giving a different angle to the same idea. So someone who might not have resonated with the original tweet might resonate with your rephrasing. So it has value to outsiders who are looking, and it might help people understand the original tweet better. So it's awesome and will give you visibility and probably quite some good engagement. And the third thing is, it's awesome because you can use the tweet as is. Once you have this rephrasing, you're good. You can already copy and paste it, schedule it for next week, and you're done. And you're probably interacting with someone who has some engagement. So their tweet has some engagement. So you know this idea has merit and it has some value. So it's already validated. So if you just rephrase it, boom, you have a good tweet for yourself. Now, try to not rephrase stuff that is not authentic to you. Don't go ahead and like rephrase random shit because like it's not gonna make people feel like it's you or like connect with you deeply. But if you focus on people in your niche that inspire you, you should be fine finding ideas that you share and that you believe in. And then when you tweet it, it will be consistent with you and your followers will really, appreciate it as standalone content coming from you. Another way that you can add value through replies is by sharing an experience that you went through. Let's say someone is tweeting about marketing and saying that they are having trouble getting paid by clients. You can say something like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that. This happened to me once as well. And here's how I handled it and what I learned from it." Boom. With this kind of stuff, you are doing two things at once. You are making the person feel seen, so building a relationship, and you are showing yourself. You are telling a story about yourself. And this is what you need to do a lot on Twitter is to share vulnerable things that happen to you. This is how people connect with you and relate to you and follow you. So by doing that, you are actually opening the door to people getting curious about you because you shared your story in a reply. So you will get engagement and visits to your profile just because of that. And of course, it makes for a perfect standalone tweet. And that will help you a lot in connecting with people and producing content that is uniquely yours and that is something people will follow you for and be invested in your story. Now, a third way you can do it is add more knowledge to the original tweet. So if the original tweet is speaking about a specific topic that you know about, which it probably should since you're supposed to be following people in your niche, so you're likely to know stuff about the topic. So usually you can probably add something, you know. And the key here is to not be, mansplaining. Don't get in there and be like, my opinion is better than yours or something like that. And some people do this without realizing. If you just go out there and just bluntly say what you think about the topic, this might come off as arrogant and, not cool. So it's always good when you're going to add value to the tweet to make it clear that you appreciate the original tweet. So say like, oh yeah, you nailed it and it made me think of this. Way better than not that and just your thought. Because it's a course, you will accumulate a lot of knowledge. And it can be overwhelming because you think, oh, I have so many things to think about. So, especially as it relates to replying, you need to be relaxed. You need to push yourself enough that you stop just liking everything and actually start replying and making yourself visible and getting outside of your comfort zone to bring value and put yourself out there. But you don't need to overdo it to the point where you force yourself to reply to things that you're not inspired by and end up feeling miserable and hating Twitter because you're spending your time interacting with people you don't give a fuck about and forcing yourself to reply and it's not genuine. Because to be honest, I did that at some point because I wanted to grow so fast. Eventually, I was just replying to people I had no interest in because I thought it's going to help me. You know what? It didn't. Because people can tell if your reply is not genuine. They can tell if it's bullshit, if you're forcing it. and they're not going to reply back. They're not going to engage back much. And it's probably not going to be a good enough reply that you get any visibility from anyone or engagement. It's better to be inspired and do 5 good replies than, force yourself to reply to 20 random people you don't give a shit about.